PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222 extension 199 and book your next event today. It's Wednesday morning. It's 10 a.m. It's time for PBKC Picks, broadcasting live from the Palm Beach Kennel Club right here in West Palm Beach, Florida. My name is Mike Jameson, and to my right is the president of PBKC, Mr. Pat.
Mike, I didn't bring this up last week. It was after the draft. But I want to know, and we were talking about guys that come out from the mile-long green room out to the stage.
Yeah.
Besides getting the hat, and half of them can't put the hat on, what's this move? What's this? There's a lot of –
I don't know what that
like
is.
when
New?
I feel
there's a lot of like
our guy
sneaky.
Did that.
It's like I'm cooking something up. Like they go to them and there'd be a lot of
cooking bad takes.
and they'd show the video of them. And they'd be like, I'm like, what is that? So I don't know. That's just something.
We got to ask Noah because he's got a kid that's like in that universe of TikTok.
Well, there's all these new. The one I love the best is like when somebody does something and they do this. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I did that the other day. I was walking in the parking lot and the employees were waving at me. I was like, "Are you pushing somebody down there, or what are you doing?"
That's a LeBron thing, actually.
Yeah,
LeBron started that.
it is.
See, I like the too small thing.
Yeah, the too small.
Too small.
But that's different. I think that's different than this.
Steph Curry started that one, actually, the too small thing.
When I get up after the show, the first thing I do is look at the guys behind me. I'm like, too small, that kind of stuff.
Well, in your case, everybody's too small.
Yeah, that's
so.
for sure.
I'll ask the kids.
Somebody get me with the like when they're doing the football, like throwing that, but then they do a lot of this. I don't know. I think
the reality is
obviously out of it.
We're all older. We're all not cool. So we're like behind the
speak
times.
for yourself, Ernest.
Yeah,
I'm young on the panel. I'm young on the panel, and I'm saying this.
We have to
plenty
investigate
cool.
this. So that's Pat Rooney. Behind him is Earnest Christian. He does podcasts. He deals poker. What's up, buddy?
I do all of it. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Behind me is Noah Carbone.
I don't fit into your self-proclaimed not cool. I'm older, but not.
He's
not
older.
Cool.
Well,
not
I'll give Noah this
now.
though. The haircut ups a little bit now. The coolness.
Yes,
I will say that much.
right?
I love the haircut. Yeah,
Yes,
it's great.
I agree with that.
Now go full one. Now go full one.
No, we're good right now.
He's getting closer, but
My
by
barber
the end
loves
of the
it.
year,
Like
it's going to be gone.
My barber, I'm in a bad situation with him. I got to figure something out because we're way overpaying for every 15-day haircut.
Do it yourself, man. Listen, I have not seen a barber.
discount.
I'm not even joking. I have not seen a barber in 19 years.
I know.
We can
Why spend the money? Why?
I understand. Definitely. Let's talk about what we had going on here over the weekend. We had another very successful Kentucky Derby. That day was kicked off, and the highlight was Golden Tempo at 23-1, going from last to first to win by a neck over Renegade in the time of 2 minutes. 2 seconds, 27, 2:27
Easy for you
in
to
the
say.
152nd Kentucky Derby. Big long shot winner. We had some history. It was a great day for horse racing. Sherry DeVoe became the first female trainer of a Kentucky Derby winner. She's actually from Florida. I actually know people that are mutual friends with her. She started in harness racing, which is cool too. The brother duo of Jose and Irad Ortiz finished first and second. And NBC also had some record-breaking viewership. The race averaged 19.6 million viewers on NBC and Peacock, and you couldn't even watch it here.
They didn't have it here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have to watch it from right here because NBC and Comcast just got it together in our area, and that started yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. The winner, Golden Tempo, did pay $48.24 to win, and we're not sure yet. My guess is it's not going to happen for the Preakness This is just me being realistic,
Okay.
but we're hoping that Golden Tempo will make an appearance in the Preakness Stakes.
Here, I got several thoughts on the Kentucky Derby. I didn't watch it because I couldn't, so I was listening to it on the radio, and I bet if you put those up again, Jake, I went by the numbers, so I don't know the names. So I had 2, 4, 6, and 14. So on the radio, it's like, here comes, Golden Temple further. I'm like, what numbers are they? I don't know. So anyway, my numbers finished next to last, fourth from last, and the other two were like in the. So I didn't do anything after I got home, and I'm like, all right, where's, did I have Golden Tempo? No, I did not. Here's some quick thoughts. When a horse is 30-1. Or whatever in that mid-range or super long shot, when they win, the odds, to me, this is a theory, the odds of them running in the Preakness go way down. Here's why. Because you're viewing it like it was a miracle that they won. They're 30-1. So why would you even bring up the possibility of diminishing that thought like, hey, this horse won the Kentucky Derby? I'm assuming that Golden Temple's are a really good horse, but if he's 30-1, is there a chance he comes in DFL in the Preakness? Maybe. And will that affect his value going forward? Yes. So why would they run that horse in? And wait till you hear the excuses. We've been monitoring the horse. He's not responding well. The training's not going the way we think. No, you don't want to run him because you're afraid he's going to come in last, and it's going to that was a fluke that he won the Derby. So they're not going to. I don't think there's any way in hell that they're going to run him, which is a shame. That's why you need a Renegade or one of the top horses because the value won't go that much further down if they win the Derby and then don't win the Preakness. So that's something I know horse racing is trying to figure out a way to incentivize these horses that win to keep running because horse racing only has a very short window of popularity, and it's from early May to mid-June or early June, and they've got to do a better job of capitalizing on that. And I don't know how it is, but as soon as that horse announces that he's not going to run in the Preakness, the interest level is going to go right back to who cares? It's just another race now, which is a shame. I did see the graphics. I like what they're able to do now with drones, and they had Renegade and they had Golden Tempo and an above view.
That's
and they have like an arrow for like the whole race, and you can see how both of these horses had a battle, especially Renegade. Renegade got hammered right out of the box and was able to fight through that. But Golden Tempo, like you're saying, dead last and is able to maneuver, especially going out wide, which most of these jockeys will not do. To have the confidence in your horse to go wide like that and finish this race first is testament to, at least for that one day, how good that horse was. But, it's still one of the coolest things in sports, like I've always said. Even if you're not a horse racing fan, to go to the Derby once and just be part of that, it's a zoo. It's nuts. There's people everywhere drunk and all that, but it's still one of the coolest things to go to. I imagine it's like the Indy 500 or something. I'm not really interested in that type of auto racing, but I'm sure going to that event would be pretty cool. This is one of those things. If you've never done it, I've been to the Derby twice, and it's just such a cool experience. And the weather was a little cool that day, but it looked like overall it was pretty nice, and they had, I'm sure, a record crowd. My final thing is this horse finished in 202. There's a horse from 53 years ago that still holds the record at 159.
Wow.
Which is shocking that nothing has been bred in 53 years to do better than Secretariat. So we talk about Will Chamberlain, all those.
Yeah.
If you can watch, I've said this I think on the show before, watch the whole Belmont from 1973. Secretariat always started like in the rear and then comes on. In the Belmont, same thing. There was only five or six horses in that race, but he starts out slow. And then, the thing with that race in particular, each quarter pole, he was going faster. So he was accelerating the whole race. Like he was going faster at the finish line than he was in the first quarter pole. So, and the time in that is never going to be broken in what he did in the Belmont. But it just goes to show you how unbelievable that horse was. But anyway, a really good Derby. I wish to God that they would run this horse in the Preakness, but I will be shocked that they do.
Yeah, I would too. The fact that this horse did come all the way from far behind doesn't always work for the
DFL
Preakness.
stand for? Should I know that?
Dead effing last.
Oh, okay.
Come on, you're supposed to be cool. You're hip.
I didn't.
We thought he was cool, but I guess not. But yeah, no, it should be an interesting Preakness. Last year we had journalism and sovereignty still going head to head, like they just did a few weeks ago in another race. So I'm hoping that we're going to hear more from Golden Tempo
Let's
soon.
hope so.
We also gave away $25K in the poker room that day. How did that go, Noah?
Oh, it was bonkers. Yeah, it was one of our biggest giveaways to date, and it was packed. So we have all those giveaways this month as well. So I'm sure you'll be telling everybody about those.
Yeah, for sure. We got those high hands going on right now. May payday.
There they are.
In the poker room every 15 minutes, 9 a.m. to midnight. $15,000 cash giveaway this month is on the 30th. And don't forget about those progressive high hand weekends with the $100,000 giveaway. Anything to touch on the Kentucky Derby, Ernest? Did you enjoy the race?
I missed the race, unfortunately, because I was out with family. So
okay, well, we're not going to talk to you
Did
about
you
it
see
then.
the video, though, at the very end where they have the trainer, Sherry, and she's going nuts. Like, they have a camera on her. But there's a woman next to her. That would be me. She's like in stunned disbelief. She's not moving at all. Like, the trainer's going nuts, jumping up and down. I'm like, that would be me. The person next to her is just like, I can't believe this horse is going to win. That video is really cool if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That might have been one of the best days I've seen for the sport of horse racing in a long time.
Yeah.
So good for them, and congrats to the Derby winner, which we hope we're going to see in the Preakness Golden Tempo. Now let's get into NFL news. Rookie of the Year is one of the things we love to talk about. We're going to start with that. Going into this upcoming season, I'm picking an offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year. I'm taking my guy Mendoza just because I hope that the Raiders don't ruin him.
what a homer!
Is he going to get on the field?
I'm hoping so at some point.
Why wouldn't
and in defense, I'm taking Reuben Jr. from
I like
the
Bain.
Bucks.
Yeah,
that's
Bain
fine.
Jr.
I like
Bucks.
He's fantastic. Who do you like early on?
Well, I'm going way off the charts with both of these. I
right.
think I mentioned to you guys either last week or 2 weeks ago the one guy, a sleeper guy that I really like, wide receiver, his name's Ted Hurst. He's played with Georgia State. I think Tampa got him. I really like this kid. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to play a lot or whatever because he was a 4th or 5th round pick, but he's big. He's got a good sense of the ball. I know he didn't play against a lot of high level competition where he went to college, but he just looks like one of those guys that's a player to me. So I know he's not going to win it, but he's the guy that I really want to watch this year. Similarly, on defense, there's a guy named A.J. Housley. He went to LSU. He's a cornerback safety. I saw film of this kid prior to the draft. Again, I think he went like the 3rd round. He's one of those like just defensive backs that likes to play football. Like he's not in there shouldering guys, tackling. He's wrapping them up. He's got instinct for the ball. He can cover guys. I just think he's going to be one of those guys that it might not be to the level of like a Sauce Gardner or something like that, but he's one of those guys. Went to a big school. I think he's going to make an impact. So those are my offense and defensive guys to keep an eye on. I'm sure they're not going to win Rookie of the Year, but you can pick, just like you said, you can take Mendoza and take Bain or take one of those 2 linebackers that got picked early on. They're probably going to be in the running for it, but I always like looking for those hidden gems out there.
Nice.
I love when Mike cut my notes here, but come on, Reuben Bain is probably one of the favorites to win Defensive Rookie of the Year in Tampa. I mean, look, the reality is, though, the guys who are on top of the draft are probably going to be the favorites. You look at guys that make an impact in positions. Jemiah Love is going to be probably the favorite to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year as well, too, also, because barring injury, of course, he'll get a lot of touches. They don't have a stable quarterback situation there in Arizona, so he will get a lot of looks. So Jemiah Love, by default, will be Offensive Rookie of the Year for me.
What about defense?
Oh, Bain. He stole mine.
Oh, he stole it. Okay.
Thank you, Mike. He stole mine.
I got a lot of these things have to do with situations, know, how much playing time they're going to get. So I think Tate, because they don't have any star power really there, Cam Ward coming on, I think he'll be the focus of at least their passing offense, I think. And that everybody likes to talk about that when a bad team has a good player, and that's all they're going to talk, and the jersey sales will be through the ceiling. So I have him. And then an edge rusher, it's hard to have anything other than an edge rusher win Defensive Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year. Maybe an interior, but if you're not putting up the stats like sacks, Quinyon Mitchell, and our other guy, DeGene had amazing seasons, but because they were shutting down and not getting INTs, it just gets brushed aside. People want to see impact and the splash plays or whatever. So I'm going with the edge rusher with David Bailey. I think those guys are plug and play. An edge rusher is not a big learning curve, jump right in and contribute right away. So I'm going to go with him.
That's good. I've always thought about this since talking to Pat on this show so many times about the NFL. And this is a question that I've thought of just the other day. And I wanted to really pick Pat's brain for this. You know, why has the importance of the running back position changed so much recently? I mean, you see, you know, they're not always early on picks. Obviously, Genty last year, there was a couple of running backs taken early this year. But, you know, the NFL Super Bowl MVP, K9, you know, got traded. You know, some teams were interested in him. But what has happened and what has changed to the running back position over the last couple of years?
That's a good question. I actually think the running back has gotten valued a little bit more over the last couple of years than it did for like a 10-year period there where people weren't drafting running backs really at all in the first round. I think there's a few things, Mike. I think the game has changed. It's become much more of a passing game, and unless the running back is good blocking or coming out of the backfield and being able to catch, it's devalued the strict, like we're you know, the Giants from 1990 where we're just running the ball down your throat all the time. That type of play, you know, that type of play calling just doesn't exist anymore. It's a pass happy league. I think the lifespan of a running back probably hurts them too. Most running backs are only in the league for about 4 years, and the really good ones can hang on a little bit longer than that, but it's a short lifespan for that position, and that might factor into it a little bit. But I still think I think Love is going to be a hell of a player. And just like what Ernest said, because they don't really have a quarterback situation, they did ask about Ron, by the way.
They did?
Yes, they did.
Wow.
But I think if they're going to go with the guys they have right now who are nobodies, they're going to have to run the ball more maybe than they want to. So you'll see still a guy that has the ability to take over a game from that position and do like Saquon did a couple years ago for the Eagles. But
remember that?
That guy.
But I to answer your question, I just think the game has changed in terms of it's much more pass happy, and maybe the lifespan of a running back just isn't quite as long, and that's really all I can think of. I don't know why. I think a guy like Love can be a game changer in this league, and maybe just because of the way the plays are called, he just won't get that chance.
I love you said that, Pat, about like it's changing again, because there was a period for like 10 years where like running backs' value was so low.
They didn't get picked at all.
But in the last couple of years, you're starting to see a shift. Not back to where, again, 1990 Giants, you know, Otis Anderson, Ronnie Hampton, you know, we're getting back closer to backs making money again. Now, Single Park is special, obviously, making $13 million a year, but you have, you know, all these backs making, you know, north of $10 million now. So you've seen a shift, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that the game has changed. You know, pass happy, of course, number one, rule changes, number two, and also the big one is risk reward. Like running backs, you know, they are most likely to get hurt more than any other position in the league because they are a number one target in terms of having the ball. I mean, even more than a quarterback because where they're running to, when they're at a highest risk getting hurt more than any position in the league, in my opinion. So, but I'm glad to see there's a little bit of a balance now because I knew last couple of years you've seen a lot more backs become more prioritized, if you will. Like I said, a lot of good backs are getting like $10 million plus a year now, that's a good sign for them. So
yeah, you know, I love games and how they evolve in theory, and poker went through a lot of changes where people say, oh, you play more aggressive or less aggressive, all these things, and it ebbs and flows. So in my opinion, in the NFL, that's similar to what we're talking about, where we went from, you could argue, run heavy from you know, the 80s and even into the 90s, run heavy, and now it's pass heavy. But eventually, as we're starting to, you know, do things where they're dropping our back in coverage or whatever, then you're not stacking the box anymore. Then you make adjustment and you run the ball more. So I think that's starting to play into it a little bit. Then when you combine that with the fact that there's a huge problem with the quality of play for quarterbacks in the NFL, it's hard to argue against the fact that some teams can't throw it as much, and that plays into it as well. So I think they're starting to become more valuable, but frankly, essentially the players who are blocking, if you have a guy who runs a 4.3, a 4.4, a 4.5, and there's a hole there and he bursts through it, he probably has the same results as the guy who runs a 4.6, getting through that hole, minus maybe the breakaway, but we see fewer of those even nowadays with the speed of the defensive backs and how far back the safeties are playing. So I think that plays into a little bit that you can get a guy. The fall off from, in my opinion, there's very few running backs that actually create their own yardage. When you talk about like Barry Sanders and these other guys that could literally one-on-one or in space create yardage, is a whole different story, but those are limited. And I think once you get past the first couple, it falls way off, and you're talking pick one out of a hat, and you got the same guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Noah too on that. I think what you're getting at too is you seem to be able to get decent running backs like either in late rounds or like the Steelers got one. He's undrafted. I don't know where Gainwell was. I don't know where he was picked, but he's a good running back. I know he wasn't first or second round. The kid from Seattle that just
Kenneth Walker?
Yeah, he wasn't a high draft pick.
No, he was not.
That's what I mean. So it seems like you can get these guys, and I know every once in a while you get a Tom Brady, but for the most part, quarterbacks are usually first, second, third round guys.
Yeah.
Running backs, you seem to be able to get really good ones that aren't even drafted. So I don't know.
Yeah, and something else that plays into it is that you really only need one on your team. You have a backup, but unlike guards, tackles, wide receivers, where you need 3 or 4, and all these things that it's a position that's not as in demand.
The key word is value more than anything else.
Yeah,
running back.
Yeah, I'm sure that 5 years from now we can talk about the same thing, and it might have different answers too. But Malik Willis recently threw out a first pitch at a Marlins game. Terrible first pitch. And this is a question our producer asked. Should the Dolphins be worried about this? And do you think in any way that the Dolphins are thinking about their future with Malik Willis, that this is their guy?
No, I mean, not based on that pitch, I don't think. But here's the thing I will say about anytime a guy from a different sport that comes and tries to throw out the first pitch and really can't get it somewhere in the vicinity of the catcher, I am a little bit concerned about that. I'm like, you're supposed to be an athlete. I don't care if you're playing quarterback or whatever. Maybe that's not the most athletic position, although I would argue that you have to have some athletic ability to play quarterback. But if you can't throw a baseball somewhat over the plate, and I mean, I'm talking about a 10-foot radius, he threw it 50 yards right of where the guy was. Yeah. That is a little concerning to me. I remember John Wall, who was a great guard for the Washington. If you look at his first pitch, it's the same thing. Like he can't throw. Like he did it. I think he's left-handed. He did it left-handed, and it was like it just didn't even look athletic at all. I'm like, this guy's a stud basketball player, and he can't throw a baseball. So I'm not putting a ton of credence into it, but it is a little bit weird when guys that we really look up to and say, oh my God, this guy's our starting quarterback and all that, and they can't throw a baseball, over like a 10-foot radius of a plate. It's a little concerning. To get to your big question, I don't know if I think they're just hoping Malik is serviceable, and if they can get anything out of him, I think they'll be happy. But I don't think they're viewing him, at least I wouldn't, as my long-term answer at quarterback based on 16 games or whatever that he played in over the last couple of years. I don't think that's reasonable to say, oh, he's our guy. There's a ton of guys, and I think we talked about this before. There was a guy with Green Bay under Mike McCarthy who did the same thing. I can't think of his name right now, but he had a really good, in relief of Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre, one of them. And then he used it and got like a really good contract from, I think it was Cincinnati or somebody, and he stunk. That was it. He played really good for 6 or 7 games, and then when the heat was on and everybody had a chance to look at film on him and everything else, all of a sudden he didn't really do much. So I don't know. I just think they're hoping he can be somewhat serviceable until they figure out really what they want to do at quarterback, and that's it.
Is it a big deal? I mean, no, come on. It was embarrassing, but this also might be a sign of things to come. Like, if you're bookending this whole Dolphins season from right now to like the end of the 26th season, if you start the chapter of this pitch right here being as bad as it was, and the Dolphins are probably gonna be the worst team in football this year because given where they're at with the salaries, they're paying so much dead cap money to players not on the team anymore. This will probably be the start of that story, of that chapter. So it's a sign of things to come for the Dolphins, most likely, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's 2 ways you could look at this. So he goes out there and he throws that absolute stinker of a first pitch, and you're like, well, how does that even happen? But then it gets you thinking, like, maybe I have a hidden talent at a sport that even though I can't throw a baseball or do certain things, maybe I'm really good at something else, and I just haven't found it yet. And maybe it doesn't all translate, and maybe I'm a star athlete trapped in this body somewhere for some sport that I don't know I'm good at yet. So, yeah, don't weigh too much into it. I don't want to say it's a lot of pressure, but it is a little bit of a pressure. Here you are, you got to throw the pitch out, and you already know everybody's going to judge you, and then you get it in your head, and here you are, and you shoot it over way out of bounds. So
does that look though? That I don't know if you saw the pitch, Noah, but does it look like he practiced at all by throwing it like that? I'm like, wouldn't you be throwing
take
it
a warm-ups? Yeah,
something.
You figure you're out the field a little bit early, or chuck that thing around a little bit.
Yeah,
maybe even get talk to one of the pitchers.
You can lob it. I mean,
yeah.
you might get a little grief because you didn't fire it in there, but just lob it. But it didn't look like it looked like he literally went out. They gave him a ball. He's like, oh, all right. It didn't practice at all. To throw it that bad.
If we have something and you ask me to throw it for first pitch, I'm going to decline. There's very little to gain. There's very little to gain.
Nothing to gain.
He's going to decline.
I gunned it over the plate. All right, I did my job.
Oh,
Anything aside from that, besides that, it's like, look at this clown. So maybe that's why they do it. Maybe they do it just set them up for failure.
Yeah, one of our local radio friends did this during a spring training game and just threw it absolutely horrible. And when I saw him a few weeks ago, I was just on him about it. He said his friends were unmerciless about how horrible this first pitch he threw at one of these games was.
You want Reel's name?
Forever.
Yeah, Theo. Theo Dorsey, that's our buddy.
I would say we
Theo threw it.
Theo.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow,
Theo,
him?
You got to watch that
Sportscaster.
video.
Yeah, I'd say we cancel first pitches.
But two of the greatest first pitches ever by a football player, Russell Wilson.
Well, he was a baseball guy.
And Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick threw one of the fastest first pitches ever at like 90 miles an hour.
First field goals and other things, first putts and like everything. Then really put
anybody who wants Noah to throw out a first pitch, please contact the show.
I do.
We got to get Roger
Just for a laugh.
Right.
We got to get Roger Dean on the line.
Please.
What year two player is going to have the biggest breakthrough season? My choice is Omarion Hampton, running back for the Chargers. I think he did miss a lot of time because of injury. In his first season, I think he's going to come back and be one of the league leaders this season. Who's your breakthrough second-year player?
Well, who was the kid for Tampa, the receiver that was going to be the rookie of the year? Got hurt.
Shoot.
He's my guy. That dude.
How many receivers, good receivers, they drafted? They're loaded at receiver now.
Godwin.
It sounds like.
Well, Evans gone now, so.
Yeah, but Pat mentioned another one that could be.
Ted Hurst. I like him, but this kid, this is what happens when you're 62 years old. But that guy is going to win. He's going to be the comeback player of the year, whatever.
Yeah, he had a great first part of the season, too. What about you, Earnest?
You stole my answer again, buddy.
Again?
Yeah. Well, I have two answers, though. Thank God. I figured you would probably steal my answer.
Okay.
Well, Hampton, obviously, is an easy pick because, he was having a great year prior to injuries, and he had a lot of impact on the Chargers when he was healthy. But look at the guy in New Orleans, Tyler Shuck. Is it Shuck or Show, whatever the name is? Yeah. But I thought after the initial bad start for the Saints, after they benched Spencer Rattler, they brought him in, and Shuck, I thought he settled in, and the team actually played better in the end of the year. So Tyler Shuck is a kid in the division that's fairly easy. I guess with the ceiling's 8 wins, 9 wins. The Saints might be a team that could be in contention to win that division next year. So Tyler Shuck is one I'm looking at the most, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it either, but I like Tyler. I had him down, but I didn't want to put your guy down, Dart. I'm starting to be a little bit concerned that the NFC East is going to be a little more challenging than it has been.
One more year.
But I think he's poised to do some things unless they have a colossal meltdown. And then McMillan from Carolina, I also think he could be one of the guys, wide receiver-wise. So
yeah, he's a good one too. We're building the championship team. This week we're talking about a center. You got any centers you want to put in your championship team?
Well, I like the center for Baltimore, but they let him go. Lindebaum, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And I like the guy from Kansas City. I think he's a good center too. So it would be one of those two guys. I think, unless I'm missing somebody. They're probably the two best centers in the NFL.
By the way, the guy you're looking for, Efrem, is Mbuka.
Mbuka.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I had Cree Humphrey also, the center for the Chiefs, is my center I build around. He's really good.
That was Jason Kelsey. Well,
I mean, great answer if he's still around, but yeah.
Right. No, Humphrey's the guy. He's 26 years old, and he's just rock solid. And, he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, the most famous center ever, Jason Kelsey. Just turn on the TV and he'll be on there somewhere. Now let's talk about Hard Rock Bet and their new offer. This actually just started last week. New players who sign up, deposit, and place their first cash bet of at least $5 with a Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook are going to get $150 in bonus bets if their first cash bet is settled as a win. Only the first bet placed is going to qualify for this promotion, and it has to have a negative 500 or longer odds. Bonus bets are going to be split into 6 $25 bonus bets, and those are going to be loaded onto your account on bet settlement, and that expires 7 days after issuance. You want more information, go to pbkennelclub.com/Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE. Now let's get into the Major League Baseball news. The power rankings are out. The Braves are right now at the top of the list, which I'm very happy about. They just got one of their better pitchers, Strider, back this week, and he didn't show very well. But they've been winning a lot of come-from-behind games, and I'm very proud of them. And Sale looks like another possible Cy Young winner. The power rankings right now are Braves, Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs. Is this looking like the top 4 teams all season, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think Acuna got hurt though again, which is a shame. But I've liked the Braves from the beginning. Yankees are who they are. They always seem to do well. Dodgers, we've said we should just concede the whole season to them at this juncture. The Cubs are kind of a little bit of a surprising team. Crow Armstrong and some of those other guys are playing pretty well. Their pitching's doing well. The problem with the Cubs have is that division that they're in is stacked. Yeah. I mean, everybody in that division is really good.
Including the Pirates.
You got the Pirates.
Go Bucks!
Everybody thought the Cardinals were going to be horrendous this year, and they're not bad. And the Brewers are the Brewers. They were probably the favorites in that division. Yeah. So everybody in Cincinnati, everybody in that division is decent. So that's going to be a tough thing for the Cubs. Tampa's playing pretty good right now as well. I can't think of any other teams to add or subtract. But, I'm not surprised at the Braves, Yankees, or Dodgers. So I think those teams are pretty much who we thought they were and who they're going to be, I think, the rest of the year.
You know the sick part about this topic, though?
The Mets?
They're sick. The worst team in baseball. Of the 4 teams he's mentioned here in the power rankings, the one who's in the tightest race is the Dodgers. They're only half game up ahead on the Padres right now in the West. The Braves are 9.5 of the Phillies, who by the way on a roll, down mildly manager of the year for the record. You have the Yankees are up by a game and a half, but the Dodgers are on a tight race with the Padres. It's gonna at least 3 of these 4 teams are gonna stick. I mean, the Braves are gonna stick at this point. They're gonna get healthy. Obviously, they're getting healthier. Dodgers are the Dodgers. We know how that works out. The Yankees are gonna. Yankee fans are so spoiled, dude. They complain and moan and bitch and stuff about the fact that we're not doing anything, but yet every year they're in first place in the NL East. I don't understand that.
Only thing worse is Met fans. Keep going.
That is disrespectful. No, just kidding. But like this honestly, at least 3 of these 4 teams should hold because like Pat said weeks ago, like you have like 4 or 5 really 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 good teams, a couple of really really bad teams, Mets included, of course, and then it's like a massive like mush in the middle of teams, a massive mush. So these 4 are probably going to hold.
Yeah, you look at how many games they play, 162 games, right? So, and you're already starting to see separation, and you're like, okay, do we really have to play another 120 games or whatever it is? Yeah. And but yes, teams like this consistently, long-term, over time, they're going to pull ahead. Are the Braves pitchers healthy now, Mike? Are they starting to get healthy? Because that was a big concern going in.
For the most part, they're healthier now. One of the things about the Phillies, too, is they just got their closer back last night. So hopefully that's going to pay dividends for the Phils going forward. On Monday, we found out that one of the greatest in broadcasting, the Yankees broadcaster John Sterling, had passed away after a long bout with cancer. Who is your best broadcaster or broadcast team in history? When I think about broadcasting, I think about like a lazy afternoon in like the 90s, turn it on
here
TBS.
It is. Yeah.
Skip Carey, Pete Van Wieren, Ernie Johnson Jr., and Don Sutton. Those are my guys. Who are your favorite baseball broadcasters?
Oh, well, I'm completely biased here. Terry Callis, Richie Ashburn, those guys from the Phillies. Just, I mean, you talk about like when you're a kid and your parents put you to bed, and you know you're not
This is
quite
my
ready to
life.
go to sleep, and you got the transistor radio, and you're trying to keep it as low as possible, but somehow my mom with her bat ears is just like, turn that damn radio off. You gotta go. And it's summer, like I don't have to get up for anything the next morning.
That?
I'm like, can you just let me? You know, I'm trying to hear the rest of the game here. So those are some great memories. Those guys and you know, Harry Carroll's passed away right after the Phillies won the World Series in 2008 or 9. Like he made it to the first or second series of the next year and then died in the booth. Like so,
Wow.
that's how you want. That's he was at. They were playing the Nationals and died in the booth at National Stadium. So
wow,
that's
imagine
how you
going
want
down
to go.
like that on here.
That's how you want to go. But hockey, you got Gene Hart was just unbelievable for the Flyers, and you know, I didn't. You know, the funny thing is, I didn't really follow the Eagles too much, and you know, my Steeler guy, you know, I can't even think. I think his name was Livingston, but yeah, the two guys I would say are Harry Kalas and Gene Hart with the Flyers and Phillies. And just nationally, I loved Kirk Gowdy and you know, Tony Kubek. I just like those guys for football and Kubek for baseball. Those were Garagiola was okay. He was pretty funny, but those were the guys. And again, most of the stuff when you're a kid somehow goes back to summer.
Yes. Yeah,
And those are the soundtracks of my summers.
This is my wheelhouse here, just broadcasting in general. 'Cause I'm obsessed with broadcasters for years. I mean, for decades, you name it. Like currently in baseball, my favorite broadcast team is, you know, the Mets are bad at many things, but what they are good at is broadcasting. Gary, Keith, and Ron are the best, and it's not even close. They're not even close second, in my opinion. In terms of like all time, though, you mentioned it. I love Skip Carey. You know, back in the day, watching the Braves on TBS and whatnot, Skip Carey, that voice, it just fit. You can't also Vin Scully, man, for the Dodgers, man. Honestly, I mean, he was fantastic. Like in terms of like all time in football, and like obviously you have the all time greats in the broadcast teams, of course. I mean, obviously Summerall and Madden are my favorite, obviously, but you know, I even love Jim Nantz. I used to love Jim Nantz and Phil Simms for a long time, and then they run Tony Romo. I actually love the Celtics, Tommy Heinsohn's broadcast back in the day before he passed away. He was great as well, too. Also, there's a lot of great broadcasters, especially in the regional markets, too, especially. If you really dig in, there's some really great ones there.
Yeah, so. Pat nailed it. It's like whoever you were in that age group where you're like 10, 11, 12, and it's summertime, and it's time for bed, and it's even – the sun might even be out a little bit still. And it's like, time to go to bed. You're like, it's sunny outside, and it's like some of the other parents' kids like were allowed to – like they were out there playing, and you're like, okay, like – and it was and it's – I don't want to sound we are dated, and we are getting older. But tuning into the radio was a whole different experience. You were literally hanging on to every single word that guy said, and how he said it carried so much weight. It's not like a optical where you're watching it and you just come up with your own thing. But it was really something amazing, and you could almost feel it. You could get those feelings back. Phil Rizzuto. For the Yankees, where he's a holy cow, like where that was his statement that he would throw out there all the time, and then. I guess he could throw in there. I don't think he was a great announcer overall, but Harry Carey for the Cubs, when he would lead the seventh inning stretch, and nobody's done it again like that or as good since then.
By the way, shout out also to the Miami Heat's long-term employee, Eric Reed, who I've met many times as a kid. He's been a broadcast guy all 38 years. So
yeah,
Eric
if I'm
Reed.
looking at the current teams, I like the Mets team. I really big fan of Keith Hernandez, as long as he doesn't ask you to help him move. But PGA News is coming up next. Let's talk about Cam Young. This is a guy we talked about a lot on the show. He smoked Scottie Scheffler by 6 strokes in the Cadillac Classic. This guy is finishing in the Quinella every time, but Scottie hasn't pulled off a win in a little while, and Scheffler falls to second place again. This week in the Truist, Rory's actually going to play, and then Scottie's taking it off to wait for the PGA Championship.
Floor is yours.
Cam Young might be becoming this year's Scottie Scheffler, like where all of a sudden, you know, he comes now. Scottie's been playing good for a couple of years now, but when he first started, everyone's like, all right, he moves his feet a lot, his swing doesn't seem to be super tight, all this other stuff. He's just catching lightning in a bottle and winning a couple events, but he did that for 3 or 4 years. maybe Cameron Young, same thing. He finally won last year at an event in North Carolina. I don't think it was this one. It was one later in the year, which used to be the Wachovia, and I don't know if it's the Wells Fargo's or whatever. But he finally wins that one, and it's like this burden came off of him. He wins the PGA champion, or he wins the TPC this year by a fair amount, and then wins this. He just seems to be one of those guys that finally figured it out, and now it's like, watch out. So I mean, could he win the PGA? Could he win the U.S. Open? He came in, I think, third in the Masters. So he's right there. I mean, if he wins the PGA Championship at Aronimink in a couple weeks, we got to start talking about Cam Young as a Scottie Scheffler for this year, for this generation maybe. And Scottie, I'm sure, has got to be pulling his hair out because he's there. Like, he's coming second, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row now, and he's the guy. And when you're literally one guy behind winning, that is super frustrating for a guy like Scottie Scheffler.
Yeah, it sounds like Pat's coming off of Scottie a little bit. Like, that was his guy, and now he's like, well, now he's
I gotta go with what I'm saying.
He's like me, with Josh Allen, and now you got Cam Young sneaking in there, and he's Pat's second favorite.
I saw him at church, I like him.
I'm a little disappointed here, Pat, because I thought you were another second place finish. You've been on a roll with, like, not good enough, and now you're teaming off. What's going on here?
That's it.
Maybe Scottie needs to go to your church and get some of those first places.
He's just retired now. Just retired. You're not good anymore, Scottie. No, I'm kicking myself now because on this show I said I should bet Cam Young too. I picked him to win the whole thing. Right. And I said as a hedge, at the very least, he's getting top 5. So I forgot to put a bet in on Thursday. So
yeah.
You did.
I know, Mike, you had the daily of Scottie and Korda. She did her part.
Yeah.
I wonder what it would have been for Cam and Korda. I wonder what that
would have been nice. That would have been a nice little win right there. So the Truist is this week. Obviously, we got Rory playing. Scottie's taking it off. Anything you've heard about the Truist or you're interested in here?
Yeah, I mean, this is a similar thing. At least it's the top 70 guys, except for Scottie. So you're going to have, I think, good competition out there. It'll be interesting seeing what kind of form Rory is in because he's taken like the last 2-3 weeks off.
It's his Masters.
And he's trying to get geared up now for the PGA Championship. So, from that standpoint, Quail Hollow is a really good, cool golf course. A lot of these guys can go low there. So I'll watch it just mainly to see what kind of form Rory's in. But it should still be a good golf tournament just because it's the top guys.
How long is the break for when PGA the off season? How long is the off season?
It's not. I mean, for these top guys, it used to be not long at all. It was like 2 months at the most. Now for these guys, I think once the Ryder Cup or President's Cup or whatever that is over, then they're done till. It used to be Hawaii, but they're not doing that anymore. So it's probably most of those guys are probably done till that Farmers thing in San Diego at Torrey Pines, which is in like late January. So I would say it's like October, November, December, January. The top guys like basically take 4 months off.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the comparison of the time investment for golfers versus some of these other sports where you're missing these weekends. I'd like to see how it stacks up. Obviously basketball, team sports, and football practices and all those things, but you play. I don't know how much training or what that looks like. But in comparison, I can't see it being as much. So to take a weekend off when, I don't know, get out there and hit the ball.
Yeah, spend some time.
And money.
Right?
Some money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the National Basketball Association. They are deep into the playoffs now.
There we go.
We have OKC leading the Lakers by 1. 1-0. Holmgren last night had 24 points. I've always been a Chet Holmgren fan. Luka is still missing in action. His status still remains unclear. I really honestly don't think whether Luka gets healthy or not that the Lakers have a chance. How about you, Pat?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. Like I said, once OKC knew that they could be good, once teams know that they can be good and they win a championship, it's really hard for them to just have a mental lapse or something. And it's like, it can happen. But I agree with you. I think the Lakers have gone as far as they can go at this juncture. I do give them a ton of credit for getting this far. I didn't think they beat Houston in the last round. So with or without KD. So I think they've probably gone as far as they can go. And you're right. I don't know what the deal with Luka is and how long this injury is going to keep him out. But I'm not sure if it would really matter at this juncture. OKC's probably going to win this thing again. I can't really see anybody else in the East that is going to be able to give him a battle.
No.
So as long as they get through the West, they're going to win this thing.
Yeah, San Antonio is the only team that can give me what their challenge. You saw this year the Spurs being together 4 times, but again, it's different bird when you play in the playoffs, 7-game series. I said on my podcast before the series started, like if Luka doesn't come back, it's a sweep. If he comes back, it's maybe Thunder in 5 games. And here's the funny thing about the Thunder too: they're not healthy either. The number 2 guy is not Chet Holmgren. The number 2 guy is Jalen Williams. He's been out since game 2 of the first round, and it does not matter. They're still dominating. So it goes to show you this team is they're primed for a repeat, man. They really are.
Are we covering all the
we'll go through the games.
So the Knicks are on a playing better, and I'm sure Pat wasn't happy with the results of the first game.
I'll give you my theory on that one.
I'd love to hear
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then it was a little surprising with Orlando. Like you think you have a team 3-1, and then you melt down, and then now they're out of the mix. And now you have to worry. The Pistons have that momentum, and they're winning now, and that's a little bit scary too. But I think a big story is, and I know you're big on the Spurs, but I think they have a problem with you have a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, matching up against Wemby, and he made him struggle a little bit. So that'll be interesting to watch that. I don't know what your thoughts on that. You think he could eventually adjust and overcome that, Earnest, or you think
he'll be fine? He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I mean, this guy's 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I get it, but
right.
Let me figure it out. The Spurs are a good team. Minnesota's frisky as hell. Let's be clear. Minnesota, people forget.
God, here we go.
Yeah,
it's been 2 shows, bro. We got to bring in this somehow. Minnesota, people forget, have been in the conference finals 2 years in a row. And by the way, the Denver loss, beating Denver, it's not a surprise. They've beaten Denver twice in the last 3 years in the playoffs, so it's not a surprise at all what they've done here. I love how you say like the Knicks, like how they're playing good. Their last 4 wins are by 16, 30. 51 and 39. They're pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. It's not bad.
It's pretty good.
So as we sit here now, you still have the Spurs are down a game already. You still think
in the series?
advance?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in 6. I think Wemby. Look. I mean, Wemby. You can't go 0 for 8 from 3. that can't happen. And I think they'll of course correct that. He had 12 blocks in that game though. That's insane.
That's awesome.
I don't care. He's 7'5". It's still 12 blocks. It's still 12 blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're better than the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves will put up a fight. They are a tough team. Anthony Edwards is hurt and had a great 4th quarter in the first game anyway. But Spurs is a better team overall and better coached. So this will be a tighter series. I think people give credit for, but I have Spurs in 6.
Yeah, the 2 games tonight, 76ers at
I'm
Knicks
ready.
at 7, T-Wolves at Spurs at 9:30, and then tomorrow the Cavs at the Pistons at 7, and the LA Lakers at the Thunder at 9:30. Let's now talk about some hockey. Let's get into the hockey playoffs. The NHL series are going like this so far. There's some lopsided series. The Hurricanes, Carolina is up 2-0 over the Flyers. We kind of thought that. We have Colorado Avalanche leading the Wild 2-0. The Golden Knights are 1-0 on the Ducks, and the Sabres and the Canadiens are going to start their series tonight.
We don't need to play anymore. This is going to be Carolina and Colorado.
Bingo.
2 of my least favorite teams, but I do not see – I don't see – Colorado's just outscoring Minnesota at this point. They won the first game like 9-6 after they were losing at one point. They've been a juggernaut all year. They had a little bit of a dip after the unbelievable start that they had, but that's kind of natural. And now they're just gearing it right back up again in the playoffs. I don't think they've lost a game yet. So I'm penning them in for the final. Carolina is just one of those really good, solid, defensive general teams. They were losing 2-1 to the Flyers, scores kind of late in the third, and then you kind of knew the Flyers threw everything at them in the overtime. And when nothing went in, and then they got kind of a crappy goal there to win it in overtime, I mean, I give the Flyers a lot of credit for getting this far, beating the Penguins and all that stuff, but I think this is the natural end of this season for them. Yeah. I'd be very surprised if they win a game in Philly. Maybe they do, but I think this one's over. And like I said, Carolina's Buffalo's a very good team. I just think they're new to this. They haven't been in the playoffs for a while, and they get a team like Carolina in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think Carolina's going to beat them. And in the West, Vegas is not bad. They'll probably end up winning that series against Anaheim and then playing Colorado, but they're not at Colorado's level. So I just think these next couple series are all right. Let's do what we need to do, but it's going to be Carolina and Colorado.
There's a bet to settle up with the Flyers and the Penguins, right? That involves face paint, right?
Yeah.
From what I understand, there's face
paint. She is denying the face paint.
I was pretty.
Go hide.
Now listen, being the guy I was, she should have to go to the Penguin Flyers game, a Penguin Flyer game in Pittsburgh. I'm not even making her do that. She just has to wear the Flyer gear to a game in Pittsburgh. She can go with her husband. She can go with her brother. They can wear their Penguin crap so that she's not completely accosted. Yeah. But I did think face painting was included. She's saying that.
I like that.
It's the same as makeup. It's no different.
I was going to send you the clip from Seinfeld last night when Elaine realizes that Putty's a face painter. I really wanted to send that to you.
I watch Seinfeld.
And I didn't want to ruin Alexa's night by doing that. But congrats to her.
Don't compromise.
Would she look good in half black and half orange?
Don't compromise your integrity for a little bit of face paint.
You can pull it off, Lex. You can pull it off.
Yeah, that's going to be great. We can't wait to see the pictures of that, too. Now moving on to our sports bet of the week. You know what I did tonight? I just took a big parlay of 4 teams in the playoffs. I'm taking the Knicks to win, the Spurs to win, the Sabres to win, and the Golden Knights to win. Right now, that's plus 391 for $50. You win 245. Any sports bets this week, Pat?
Well, I mean, I was talking about the Sixers a little bit. In the last playoff series against the Celtics, they got creamed in the first game, and then somehow, against all logic, won the next game, and that sort of at least gave them the thought, even though they lost the next 2 games in Philly, it gave them the thought, hey, we're not going to get swept by the Celtics in this series. So they get creamed by the Knicks in the first game by 39 points, not even playing,
not a shock,
essentially. Can they? I think they're 6.5 underdogs in this game. Can they come back and do that same thing? I don't think they can, but I'm going to take the Sixers tonight. It could be a complete blowout again, and if it is, they're not winning.
It's a good bet.
Game.
It's a good bet.
But I gotta figure that Embiid and those guys have a little bit of pride and can summon something up after that debacle in the first game. So I'm going to take them at least to cover. Maybe it's a close game and they lose, but I think if it is 6.5, I'm taking them.
I mean, these 4 games are an anomaly for the Knicks. Number one, look, they're a really good team, but when they're winning last 4 games is insane. And Sixers turnaround was quick too. Also, they won Game 7 late on Saturday and all that. The emotion of that series because Boston for 3-1 deficit and all that. So that's why I think that's a good bet. At the very least, plus 6, whatever 6.5, whatever it is. My bet of the week, I'm going to course correct what I didn't do last week. I'm going to do 2 separate bets. Cameron Young to win Truist at plus 850, and then at the very least, to hedge it, plus 200 for a top 5 finish.
Wow, so I'm picking opposite of you guys. I actually had the Knicks minus 7.5, but you're saying it's 6.5 now.
It might be. I heard it on the radio. I think it was 6.5.
I need some of the 6.5 because I'm going with them. And then Jalen Brunson over 26.5 points, which you guys all know I like to parlay a score combined with a win, which makes sense. So 50, and I'm more of a fan of long shots, but I can't get one with the Knicks because they're playing so well. 50 will win you 155 for that wager.
It's not bad.
All right.
It's not terrible.
It's better than a stick in the eye, right?
That's right.
That's for sure.
You bet for the finals, plus 1,400 to win finals.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Now we're looking at what's going on here at PBKC, and Noah touched on it earlier, our May high hands. It's a May payday.
And we increased them.
$15,000 cash giveaway, and every 15 minutes you're winning cash. And that big giveaway is going to be on May 30th. Don't forget about those weekend high hands, and those prices have gone up Monday through Thursday. It's $300. Friday and Saturday it's more. So you got to get in there and get some of those high hands. It's one of the best promotions.
Even Sunday is $250 across the board now.
It is.
It is awesome.
It's awesome.
And a little inside. I'll give you the inside scoop on Sundays. It's not as busy on Sunday.
Whoa.
And if there's less players, your chances of winning a high hand is greater.
Absolutely.
Inside info.
And the money doesn't change. So that's an
Don't tell
inside
anybody
scoop.
that.
This is exclusive for listeners only.
You don't get this
Patreon only.
Do not get this anywhere else. Next week starts the 14th through the 17th, the $100,000 Monster Multi-Flight. That is easily the most popular tournament in all of South Florida. With a $300 buy-in, we got $65 satellites. It's really the coolest tournament, and each each and every month. People show up and show out for that one, and that's going to start next Thursday, the 14th through the 17th. And we got some paddock shows to talk about. We got some big ones coming up. This is 3 of the first ones that are going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a CCR. We also have the US BGs on November 13th, and Simply Tina's coming back. She always sells out. It's going to be no different this time. And we also have a show on October 2nd, too, and that is the Queen.
I think my dad actually owned all 3. There. Pat, remember the 8-track players that you had in the old cars? I think my dad actually had all 3 of those 8 tracks.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that was a law at that time. You had
and by the way, that Queen show, I've heard about that band. They are really good.
They are.
I'm going to be here for that, especially for the Queen one.
Yeah, that's October 2nd. So that's where we're the first show we booked so far. But we're in the midst of booking more shows. We could even come out with shows in this next week to announce. So please stay tuned to all of our social media and our website to see more of the dinner and shows that are coming up for the fall season. And what are your final thoughts on the week, Pat?
Well, I mean, they always go to football. So even though we're in May now, we talked a little bit about the schedule, I think, at the end of the show last week, or I don't even if it was post-show, but the NFL schedule usually comes out in mid-May. Well, they've moved it now to they don't even have a date. They're like, it's going to be sometime it was supposed to be
tomorrow.
It was supposed to be like the 14th or 15th, and now they've moved it to later because they want to they're trying to figure out, I don't know if it's something with the World Cup or some other thing, but it's one of those weird things, and Ernest, we were, I think, somewhat joking. I'm like, if the NFL did the schedule release like in Detroit or something, do you think they'd get 10,000? I think they'd get 50,000 people to sit there. Yeah. And if they had a representative from each team and they come out, all right, we're going to go through Carolina's schedule and have somebody, Sam Mills or somebody from the past. I think people would love that. I don't know why they don't do something like it and announce like the international games and the Monday night games and all that. Like have like some weird graphics and guys that come out and from the team or from the city or whatever and help. I think it'd be another missed opportunity here by the NFL to take advantage of. But with all that said, I don't. It is odd that they've moved this now to like they won't give you the date. They're just saying it's going to be sometime the next week. And it's always this weird mystery thing, and all of a sudden it's like the schedule's been released, like it's been released.
Surprise.
And you're like trying to scramble. Right. Here's the thing: if you're trying to get accommodations for one of these away games that you want to go see your team, as soon as that thing comes out, the prices and everything of those hotels goes way up. So it does. Even though it's like a weird thing, if you get the info a little bit before that, which some of us are lucky enough to do, man, it's a big advantage because now I can book a hotel in San Diego or Los Angeles or whatever, and I got a little bit of a jump on people.
Wow. You know what they should do? So you really want to make it exciting. Instead of determining the teams that you play in the other divisions based on your record, they should do like a live drawing to see who you play. You want to watch TV? That would be.
There you go.
Light it up.
No, if they indeed take your idea, Pat, make sure you get credit for it, please. Thank you very much.
Which one? He has so many.
I think it'd be a huge moneymaker for them.
Well, question.
I've always said what they could do, Ernest, is, and I know they don't like doing it. They want to make it separate from the draft, but you could do it on the Sunday after the draft in the same city, or you could do it in the city that it's going to be on that Sunday, like in D.C. next year, and have it be like, all right, we're done with the draft. Now we're going to the schedule release. Or if you want it to be a complete standalone thing like it would be like in mid-May, I think that would be a home run too. And maybe do that in the city where the draft's going to be next year or something like that.
If the calendar's an issue, move the draft up maybe a few weeks. And then lead towards that mid-May, mid-April, call it a day. It's easy, separate. Boom.
The draft used to be right as soon as the season was over. Like as soon as the season was over, they did the draft like the next week.
Why do they move it for that way?
I think to be able to work guys out and some facsimile of the combine was done, at some point. They wanted more to be able to get more information on guys. Whereas in the old days, they just watched the games and they're like, all right, this guy looks like a good player. And that's how they picked him. They didn't do, I don't think, a lot of the measurable stuff that they do now where how far can he, the 40 time and all that kind of stuff. I think they just looked at tape of the games that they played in college, and as soon as the regular season was over, they had the draft like in early January.
I will say the calendar has squeezed a lot more in the last couple of years, but the college football playoff ending in closer to late January now. Sure. So that's now affecting things too as well. So But again, you don't need 2 months, 2.5 months between the end of the college football season.
But it builds up that like
But if you add this idea, which I love the idea, just move the draft up. You have two things we're looking forward to: the draft in late March, early April, and then the big schedule release. Hey, we're playing Tampa in November.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to this week, Earnest?
NBA playoffs, man. Now I'm locked in. It took me a little while to kind of. I was first week of the first round. I was like, kind of like, okay, whatever, dude. Now you have we had two upsets. We have the Nuggets out, Celtics out. So we have some compelling basketball going here now.
Yep.
I'm hoping this next Sixers series goes to 7 because that is the most compelling series of the second round. Well, yeah, unfortunately, yeah. But we'll see how Game 2 plays out. I think if they win tonight and win in a big way, I think the thing's over in 5.
So it's a little bit of slower time. Well, a little bit. Well, you got the playoffs and other things. But this is a big week for me. I'm unretiring from golf. So I'm actually going to go out. I'm going to go and bite and I'm going to go hit some ball. Did he have that ready? I didn't even tell him I was going to bring this up.
Look at that bicep.
Yeah.
Good God.
Right?
What drugs are you on?
So clearly, yeah, you see those. I got those Facebook ads where you see replacement. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely
a lot
me.
Of before and after.
But
that looks like a tomahawk
that
steak
almost looks
right
like
there.
too many muscles to play golf, right? Is that a thing?
Two lines too many.
Like my stretch coach is going to be working overtime for that. Like, look, pretty tight there. But so I've been actually goaded into coming back and seeing how I progress.
When's the last time you played?
5 years ago.
Oh,
okay.
All right.
Not on the Wii either.
Okay, just please warn everybody before you hit your shot. That's going to do it for the show this week. Good luck on all your bets, and we're going to catch you next week on PBKC Picks, 10 a.m. right here on all social media. Have a great week, everybody.
Barely got golf out of my mouth, and he's like, whoa.
PBKC is your entertainment destination for poker, table games, OTV, Paddock live events, and exceptional eats. The Paddock Restaurant is perfect for meetings, corporate functions, parties, fundraising, and more. Call 561-683-2222, extension 199, and book your next event today.